Good morning again, everybody. How are we doing this morning? Wow, it's so cool. I have the echo delay. Okay, I've been tasked with this extraordinary privilege of officially kickstarting today's events and also introducing um, our new leader. Uh, my name is Levent Atıcı. I am from the Office of University Interdisciplinary Programs, and my title is Associate Vice Provost for Student-Centered Interdisciplinary Initiatives. So here this morning, I'm actually representing our leader, Senior Vice Provost Rob Dunn, um, who is currently in Europe doing cool things and also having fun at the same time. So he sends his regrets that he couldn't be here with us today. He also sends his best wishes and congratulatory remarks. So I'm thrilled to introduce Dr. Jeff Yoder, our new executive director of the Genetics and Genomics Academy. But before that, let's take a moment to recognize the extraordinary, distinguished Dr. Fred Gold, the outgoing executive director. Yeah, who's done tremendous things at NC State to advance the mission of the university and the GGA with his vision and leadership. And he actually he had an unwavering commitment to excellence in teaching, research, and service. Thank you, Dr. Gold. So, again, I'm thrilled to introduce Dr. Jeff Yoder, our new executive director of the GGA. Let me say this. Imagine someone who can look at zebrafish and tell you something new and innovative about human immunity. That's Jeff for you. He's been with NC State since 2004 and served in manifold leadership capacities, including the GGA Executive Committee since it was formed in 2021, and is the head of the GGA Research Committee, among many other leadership positions and services. Jeff received his Bachelor of Science degree in Biotechnology from Worcester Polytechnic Institute and his PhD in Cell and Developmental Biology from Harvard University. But there's the cool part. Jeff is not about research or lab work. He's all about bringing people together, whether it's forging new partnerships, mentoring students, or finding ways to make genetics and genomics accessible to everyone. Jeff is your guy. In his new role, Dr. Yoder will be like a master chef, mixing together all the amazing research, training, and outreach we do here at NC State. His goal, to help us understand life on Earth better and use that knowledge to make a real difference in North Carolina and beyond. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Jeff Yoder, scientist, leader, and our new genetics and genomics guru. Dr. Yoder.
Let's see. Good morning, everybody. So I'm just going to jump right in. First of all, thank you all for being here this morning. Hopefully, many of you can stay the whole day. I know some people have other obligations. People are going to come and go, and I appreciate that. And those on Zoom, I appreciate your time as well. And just want to say how grateful I am to have this opportunity to take on this new position for the GGA. I've got this passion for this group of people. It's a group of people and a research arena that I have had long-standing interest in it. So I'm just wanted to express my gratitude. So my goal for right now, and then after me is going to be members of the executive committee, is to sort of give you the highlight reels of what the GGA has accomplished this past year, as well as some insight into things coming up in the next year. So just as a reminder, the GGA has these 4 commitments towards interdisciplinary research, graduate training, undergraduate education, as well as promoting genetics and genomics knowledge across the state. So with that in mind, we've got the highlight reel from fiscal year 2024 that finished up in June. We have membership from 9 colleges within the university, 229 faculty affiliates, 249 graduate students and postdocs, and spread across these different colleges. With the biggest membership thus far is COS, CALS, and the CVM. And we continue to forge forward and trying to get increasing membership in as appropriate in all of the colleges across the university. Research funding, we were fortunate enough to have in our budget this past year funds that we gave out 11 different seed grants and bridging grants. They went out to 31 different North Carolina state investigators across the university, representing 16 different departments and 5 colleges. We will have summaries of some of these later this afternoon of what those grants were and what they were able to accomplish. Grant writing. So the GGA partners with the PDU, which is the university's proposal development unit, working with specifically Amanda Krenzel, um, working on writing and submitting grants for multiple different types of agencies. And she helped, as highlighted here, 8 different interdisciplinary research proposals. She also, in addition to helping put those proposals together, she also does consultation work with GGA members on ideas and strategies for moving grant proposals forward. And we have 2 big success stories that 2 of those grants that she helped put together were funded this last year. And together those combined were over $8 million that were brought into the university. GG Scholars Program, and again, you're going to get more details for a lot of these as we move forward. These are the highlight reels for our accomplishments. So the Genetics and Genomics Scholars Program, if you are not familiar, it is we do not offer a degree, but it is a first-year training program within the realm of genetics and genomics. And then the students who are trained in that program go off into multiple different PhD programs within the university. And it's our 5th year of doing it, and a big kudos to Martha Burford-Reiskin, who has been the lead on this since the inception of it. And this past year, we had the largest applicant pool, and that included over 220 applicants from very different backgrounds. And we have 15 PhD programs across the university that participate in taking GG Scholars into their programs. These are the faces of 44 different faculty who were listed as trainers on an NIH T32 training grant that was submitted this last year. And later this fall, we should be hearing back on how the reviews went. If this is funded, we will have funding then to support some of these GG Scholars as they're coming through the program. And I want to give a huge shout out to the Provost Office, because the Provost's Office is continuing to support the lines that are given to the GG Scholars Program to support this 1-year program for these first-year students as they're coming into the program. And so we, of course, are working on ways to either increase the numbers of students coming to the program and help take on the burden, if you will, the financial burden of paying these students in that first year. So training grants is one of the strategies we're using. Undergraduate courses, you're going to hear more about the new ones coming up. These are 4 that we offered this last year. The strategy is to, how do we provide genetics and genomics content to undergraduate students who are non-STEM? So trying to create these 1-credit courses for students, no prerequisites, with the idea that students in any discipline might be interested in taking these courses. And so one was biotechnology, bioengineered foods, my pet's DNA, taming selfish DNA, and then the genetics and genomics of brewing. And you could imagine there might be a certain population of students interested in the genetics and genomics of brewing. We did multiple outreach programs, and there are individual PIs who have done things bringing genetics and genomics content to different arenas. We've partnered both with K through 12 educators. We've been into the classrooms themselves. We have partnered with the Science House to help develop new curriculum, and the Keenan Institute with training teachers as well. So one thing moving forward, this is something that I'm really hoping that we can develop more of an organizational structure to this. I don't want to change the success stories, but if there's a way we can develop an infrastructure that we can be better at supporting these groups that are doing this work, and then also developing new ways that we can move forward with outreach. And then there were multiple events that were held over this past summer. We've had a couple fantastic seminar speakers. We had David Deemer, who was the inventor of nanopore sequencing, came in and gave a talk about the future of sequencing and perhaps the origins of life with experimentations that they're doing to try to figure out how could life have began using DNA sequencing as a strategy. And then we also held a one-day symposium for Bruce Weir, who is a previous faculty from this department, who is really one of the groundbreakers in the realm of genetics and genomics at NC State. This is a new figure that, as coming in as the new executive director, we are now working with the executive committee. We're developing somewhat more organization, if you will, for the GGA. You can see the red up here. The Genetics and Genomic Academy falls under the Office of University Interdisciplinary Programs, also called the OUIP, and that falls within the Provost's office. I'm the new executive director, and we now have the GGA Executive Committee and staff, and each member of the executive committee now has a director title. So for example, we have a director of undergraduate studies, we have a director of graduate studies, we have a director of research, we have a director of outreach and engagement. So each member of the executive committee has specific things that they're going to be responsible for, and they're not doing all of those things, but they're going to be the point person in those arenas where the GGA is participating. And then underneath that, I'm developing a new GGA advisory board. And one of the goals of that is to increase communication. I do want to have open communication and to eliminate this possible perception that the executive committee just makes decisions and does things. We want to make sure we're getting feedback from as many constituents as possible. And so we're going to have representation from the Genome Engineering and Society Center. We're going to have representation from the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences. We're going to have looking for a graduate student representative, a postdoctoral representative. I want to have representatives from each college so that for example, College of Engineering does not have a member on the executive committee. So how do we get input from the College of Engineering? So I want to have a faculty member from engineering sitting on this advisory board. And so it's still in the works. I'm still working on finding the individuals who are going to be on this board, but this is something moving forward again of me trying to increase the communications within the academy and making sure that we're getting feedback from the membership that what we're doing is working for you, and find out if you have suggestions, what's working, what maybe could use some help, and new ideas of things that we could be pursuing. And with that, I'm going to just give one shout out. I don't know if you can read the text, but we have a new member of the executive committee, Rafael Guerrero. Is he here? Could stand up and say hi. He is the new director of research, which is basically, that was the position that I was in. And so now as I'm moving up to the executive director, Rafael has very kindly agreed to join us and help us move forward with these programs. He wasn't strong-armed at all. And with that, I'm going to hand the reins over to Martha. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Martha Burford-Reiskind. I am the Director of Graduate Programs and also the Director for the GG Scholars Program. And so just to tell you about some programming we have for graduate students in the GGA, we are going to continue. We piloted last year a professional development monthly events for all graduate students in the GGA. We are going to continue that, but we're going to actually get your feedback on what types of events and what timing and where those should be. So those will be coming up, and you'll be getting some emails regarding that. We have a couple large synergistic workshops or networking events that will involve not only GGA graduate students, but graduate students in the GES program, also the GOHA, the Global One Health Academy, and the Global Change Fellows. We're going to bring you all together. Our very first event is a storytelling event. You're going to see some slides rotating about that, where we're going to help people develop their own personal stories. We get a great afternoon today where we're going to hear some personal stories. This focus will be for graduate students and undergraduates. And that's going to be in November. And then we're going to bring together graduate students and undergraduates from all these different programs to share their science in a symposium and a reception in the spring semester in March. So be looking out for those as well. I did also want to highlight that through the GGA, you'll see a rotating slide. We do provide funding for graduate students that include travel grants, small seed grants, dissertation improvement grants, and so be looking for those opportunities as well. We want to make sure all GGA graduate students are aware of these. I lost my words. Opportunities. Sorry, guys. So just to give you a little sense of how this all comes together, we have a very strong faculty contribution in both the admissions and the curriculum for the GG Scholars. The admissions committee is chaired by Rafael Guerrero, and there's a membership across the different colleges that are part of the 15 different PhD granting programs. We also have done thanks to a lot of input from the GG Scholars from previous years, we've done a complete revamp of the GG Scholars survey course. This has been led by Claire Gordy, these are the instructors. We have these individual case studies. So we've had a lot of faculty contribution over the years for building out our curriculum, and I think it's going to be very exciting this year. I hope. We'll get feedback, and then we'll modify as we need to. Just a little bit about sort of the success of the GG Scholars Program. And these are just a few little highlights. We've supported 76 first-year students for a full year in our first 5 years. So we're at that 5-year report, and I'm meeting with all the colleges to talk about what the impact has been on these 76 students. Those students, once they've matriculated out of our program, have also been incredibly successful at getting external support, either internal or external support after. And so we've been able to see these success of these students with 40.5 support years outside of our first year support. And so we are very impressed by these students, as you should be as well. They are true doc stars. And the GG Scholars Program has trained 63 students over these last 4 years. Those are the ones that we have a whole new cohort that's coming in now. And we have 58 different faculty that have supported, have been the PIs for these graduate students. And so we are really excited about not only the graduate students, but also the faculty that are a part of this program. So faculty have also been very involved in our very successful recruitment. We have a virtual recruitment and an in-person recruitment. They have been involved in rotations. They are committee members. And so a huge shout out to our GGA faculty. I do want to welcome our newest cohort. And these are the scholars up here. A lot of them are here today, and they have a little sticker. So, but I also would like all graduate students, this is including all graduate students in GGA, for all of you to stand up right now if you are here, so that we can see who you are. So go ahead and stand up. I know where you are. And I just want to make a huge shout out. They're like, what, Martha? I want to make a huge shout out to all the faculty here that one of your missions today is to find at least 2 of these people here and talk to them and network with them. If you accomplish that task, you can keep standing. You will, so they can make sure they see you. You will actually win a special prize called the Martha Burford Reiskin Appreciation Prize. And that will result in a beverage of your choice tonight at the event that the actual GGA is sponsoring. So, but it will be a special prize. So please welcome these incredible and appreciate these incredible graduate students. And let's give them a round of applause as they stand. All right, now that I've thoroughly embarrassed them, they also have a little yellow sticker. The brand new ones do, but these are all our graduate students, and we really do want to continue to support them. And with that, I'm going to turn that over to Melissa Ramirez, who's going to talk about undergraduate programs.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Melissa Ramirez. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the director for undergraduate programs for the GGA. I've been in this position for about 1 year now. And as Jeff told you, one of our missions is to make sure that every undergraduate here at NC State has the opportunity to learn a bit about genetics and genomics while they're here with us. So part of what I've been doing this past year is meeting with folks around campus to identify holes in their programs where we might be able to fill that gap for them. So we've been developing this suite of undergraduate courses. Of course, that necessitates us to identify and recruit potential instructors and give them whatever support we can in them developing these courses. And of course, we'll always have assessment goals for evaluating the success of our programs. As Jeff said, these are some of the courses that we've developed over the past year and that are being offered right now. We have a course on maize that's being taught by a postdoc. I'm teaching one on science storytelling. We have another on the genetics and genomics of brewing. Another postdoc is teaching a course on biotech and bioengineers foods. We have one on evolution and society. Those are all 1-credit courses, no prerequisites at all, no restriction in terms of what year a student might be in order to take those. This year, we're also really excited to be offering a new GEP course. So this is a large enrollment course that actually fills a need on students' degree audits. We're co-teaching with Dahlia and Claire this course on genes, race, and society. So that is a high enrollment course for us. And so we're really excited to continue meeting with folks on campus to try to see where GGA can help support their goals for all students at NC State. And I will pass it off to Raphael. Oh, sorry. I will pass it off to Dr. Yoder.
Thank you. So Raphael is, I made sure, because he really joined the executive committee literally like just a couple weeks ago. So I made sure he did not have any major responsibilities at this event because he's got, as you could imagine, lots of other things going on in his life. So, but next year's going to be a different story. So from the research perspective, I also wanted to mention while I'm up here to give a huge shout out to all of our vendors who are here. They're listed in the program. You'll see them in the rotating slides. And I just want to remind you that when we have coffee breaks and lunch break, please visit the vendors to find out what the latest technologies are in DNA analysis and genomic sequencing, because they're here as for all of you. They also have contributed some funds, and those funds are going towards some of these graduate student awards that Martha was talking about. So within the research interest groups, again, this is a highlight reel. We have a specific section of time later this morning, right before lunch, when you'll hear updates from each of these research interest groups. We have really expanded them this past year. The goal of these research interest groups are to bring faculty in to the same space, faculty from across different departments and at different colleges. The whole idea is to bring different perspectives, scientific perspectives together, different expertise together with the goal of making connections where perhaps there could be a new collaboration that could be developed from these RIG events. And as you'll hear, some rigs are focused on having like weekly journal clubs. Other rigs maybe have 1 or 2 events a semester. We're here to support these groups with however they want to develop their rig, because each group is different. They have different priorities, and they may have different strategies of reaching out to faculty. And so with that, we added 5 new rigs. They're all 10 are listed up here, and I'm very proud and happy that we now have a rig on genetics and genomics education and research onto how are we teaching and how well are we teaching. And I want to emphasize that this is a research arena. This is not just teaching, but it's also a research arena that is actively going on at this university. Not all research is happening at a wet bench doing DNA sequence analysis. And we also have a rig, the newest one is Genes and Society, and you'll hear a little bit more about that one as well when we have the rig updates. So we have these 10 rigs. I think last year we had 5 or 6, and so over this course of this last year, we've increased the numbers, and these are all really faculty-driven, faculty-run for the most part, but they're all open to everyone, right? So faculty, trainees, staffs, undergraduate students, everyone is welcome to attend all of their events. We have this slide here. There's a QR code. If you want to join any of these rigs, you're going to hear these updates later. And I can't remember if this is on the rotating slides, the QR code, but all you really need to go is go to the GGA webpage, and there's a drop-down menu, click on research interest groups, and there's a way to sign up for these different rigs. So if you're a new student coming in, pay attention to these topics and think about, you can join 1, you can join 10. It's up to you of how you, and what that does for you is that gets you on an email list, right, for these events, and so you can participate them. You don't have to go to every event that every rig hosts, but at least you'd be aware about them. And when there are bigger events, the GGA in general will send out announcements to the whole GGA community about these events that are coming up. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Dahlia.
Hi, I'm Dahlia, and I have a fancy new title. Most of what my role is in the GGA is to run the seminar series. So we have a lineup for this semester right now. It's not in my head yet. The semester's actually started, but it has. So our goal is to try and provide a sort of a wide range of different types of people coming from like different academic stages, different types of research areas, different lived experiences, to try and give people, you know, a broad access to stuff that's going on in sort of the broader world of genetics and genomics. We really want to have the GGA members be participating in not only attending the seminars, but also if you're interested in bringing somebody in hosting somebody to come give a talk, please talk to me. My goal is to send out a survey so that you'll get an email saying, asking if anybody wants to nominate somebody to come give a talk. So we'll try and get that out sometime in the next couple weeks. One thing I also want to mention on here is that you can see at the end of the program, the last sort of slot, they're all Mondays afternoons at 1:30. So that's the